There we go. Uly Monster Diaz has joined us. Got a bare knuckle title fight coming up June 26th, and we'll give you some of the official particulars with that as well. Good to see you, Uly.
Good to see you guys, man. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Truly appreciate it.
Pro boxing record 12-1, 11 KOs. That's pretty good. MMA record 1-0, 1 KO, and bare knuckle fighting record 2-0, 2 KOs, and the fastest KO in combat sports history, as we talked about with 3 seconds. So I was going through your bio, and it seems like you like to fight.
Yeah. It's ever since I was a kid, man. It's been in me.
It's weird. It's like most people don't want to fight very badly, but there's a few people that really like to fight, and I don't know.
Mix up the rest of us.
It's all in the. Is it in the genes? I don't know. Did your dad fight a lot?
Not at all. My dad doesn't fight at all. He's actually an author. He writes books, and my mom is
about
an
fighting.
Accountant. Not at all.
And what's your mom do?
My mom's an accountant.
Wow. And so it's all nature and none nurture, or it's neither in this particular case. So Pitbull was a huge influence on you. He took an interest in you early on.
Yeah, me and him have been friends since we were 11 years old. We met in middle school, and ever since then, man, we've been brothers. We've lived together. I've been around since he started coming up in his music career. So we've been by each other's side since we were about 11, 12 years old.
Oh, so when I was going through your bio, Chris was reading your bio to me when I was driving in, I thought Pitbull found you, at a later stage in life and wanted to, sponsor you or something like that. I didn't know you guys were contemporaries. Oh,
no, that's our brother. He's like as close as a brother could get to me, man. Like I said, we grew up since we were kids. I still speak to him on a daily or if not every other day.
We've had him on before. He's inspiring, to say the least, and motivated, to say the least.
Very inspiring and motivational to me as well.
So you got into trouble for fighting. You ended up going to prison for, I think, 2.5 years.
It's a serious fight.
Yes, sir.
Is that one big fight or a whole bunch of smaller fights that get you into prison?
It was a whole bunch of smaller fights. And like you were saying earlier, is it nature or nurture? It was more, I guess, of a nurture thing, because I grew up with my mom. Single mom by myself. I didn't meet my real father until I was till I was an adult and I had kids of my own. So I kind of grew up, I never had a male role model in my life. I didn't have a father, an uncle, a cousin. I didn't have any male role models in my life. So I liked what my friends liked, and I did what my friends did. And I kind of always felt like I was the protector of my friends. I just liked fighting. I was never a bully, but I liked fighting. So, I got into it at a young age, and it got me in a ton of trouble. It got me in a ton of trouble since elementary school. Then I got to middle school and high school. I ended up going to juvenile detention centers. And as a young adult, I went to prison for fighting. And it was multiple fights. There was a couple fights here, a couple fights there, until I became an adult. And they're like, I'm sick of you, and they sent me up to prison for a while.
I know you're in Florida, and so bare knuckle is sanctioned in Florida, I'm guessing. Where is bare knuckle sanctioned?
Bare knuckle is actually sanctioned in a couple places now. The promotion I fight for is called Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship of BKFC. I think they started in Wyoming. Now it's in Mississippi, Florida, and I'm not sure. They just did Alabama. So it's getting sanctioned in a couple states. It's really a rising promotion. It's a fast rising promotion.
There's probably, obviously there's not more money now in bare knuckle than there is in the UFC, but maybe someday there will be. But why choose to fight bare knuckle versus, and I say UFC, but mixed martial arts?
So he's used to fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've always liked traditional boxing. I tried MMA. MMA, hats off to those guys. It's a ton of training, from wrestling to jiu-jitsu to all that. I was sleeping in the gym every day. And I'm 40 years old. I got kids. I have a life. Fighting is my life. That's why I pay my bills, and that's what I do for a living. But outside of that, I try to do a lot of other things. And doing MMA was tough. I didn't have time for anything. When it comes to bare knuckle, first of all, it's my roots. Like I said, I've been fighting on the street my whole life. But the promotion also takes care of their fighters. They do pay well. I'm not sure what UFC pays. I'm sure when your name is up there, you get paid well. But as for bare knuckle, they've been paying me well, and I have a great opportunity now coming up June 26th. I'm fighting Thiago Alves, which is a legend in UFC. He fought many fights in UFC. He's a legend as a fighter, and it's gonna be I'm looking forward to this fight. It's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, is he still active in the UFC, or the UFC wouldn't let him do a bare knuckle sanctioned fight? I'm guessing.
No, from what I know, I think he left UFC a couple years back, and now he's signed with the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. They have a couple ex-Bellator and UFC guys. They got Hector Lombard. They got Joey Beltran. They got some big names. They signed Paige VanZant. And Thiago Alves is one of the guys. And, me and him are in the same weight class. So we're fighting for the vacant 175-pound belt on June 26th.
So Paige VanZant is an attractive blonde, petite-ish woman.
I'll be the judge.
Yes. And she's doing bare knuckles.
I was going to ask
I'm sorry. Yeah, she's doing bare knuckle.
Yeah.
She's doing bare knuckle, and they actually just about a week or two ago, they signed about 4 more women from UFC and Bellator, and they're all very beautiful women.
Now, Adam has, I'm going to speak for you. Adam has sort of a cringe factor still, I think, when it comes to women fighting. As bare knuckles is pretty, I would imagine it's pretty brutal. Do you have thoughts about that? It's just sort of viscerally, or no?
No, I don't. I mean, it's the fight game. But I'll tell you what, it's definitely different from any other style, because so I remember my first fight. I'm sitting backstage waiting for me to go out, and everybody's coming back to the locker room, and they won, and they're cut up and bleeding. You get hit with a bare knuckle. It's not like being hit with a boxing glove or an MMA glove. You're getting cut. So win, lose, or draw, there's cuts, there's bruises, there's openings, there's gashes, there's all types of. Yeah, it looks crazy. It looks crazy, man.
What are they? Paige VanZant is a high-level UFC fighter who's a draw.
Right. I'll say.
Yes, sir.
It seems weird that I guess they're trying to get.
They're paying her. They're paying her very, very, very well in bare knuckle.
I'm guessing. So because she's just this beautiful blonde who's pretty highly ranked in the UFC. I don't know where she's ranked, but she's really. She's the one, I think Paige VanZant, not to go off on a Paige VanZant thing, but when announcers, how they'll do that thing where they go, the one guy's dominating, and Johnson over there, he's not throwing, he's not trading, he didn't show, he knocked him out, they knocked him out. They do that thing all the time. They do it, you'll see it in baseball all the time where, they'll talk about the batter, he's struggling, he's really can't find a swing.
And then a grand slam.
Paige VanZant had this great fight about a year, maybe 2 years ago, where she was doing... Oh, she lost 3 of her last 4 UFC. She was doing these crazy, stupid kind of kicks, like they weren't close to connecting, and it was kind of like showboating stuff. It looked like she was making a karate movie or something, and she did it all through the first round. And then I think she came out in the second round, and the announcer's like, she's got to put that stuff away and get back to basics. Goes crazy. And she flies up and does a crazy scissor kick and knocks the person out. Like in the middle of the announcer's going, she's got to get back to basics and keep those kicks in check. I don't know if you can find that somewhere, Max, but it made me laugh. So anyway, what are the rules? I mean, I know the rules are boxing, and it's bare knuckle. Are you allowed to have any tape on your hands or any things of that nature?
No. So the rules are boxing rules, bare knuckle, but there's dirty boxing allowed, which means you're allowed to, if you have one hand free, you're allowed to clench behind the neck and hit them. Whoa. So you can, as long as you have one hand free, you could hold them and hit them. Wow. And what you have is it's a glove, but with no fingers. It covers up to here. It holds your thumb and it holds your wrist. your knuckles are exposed, and they tape that over your wrist and your thumb. Your knuckles are exposed about that far, like that, about 2 inches behind your knuckles. So it's bare knuckle. It's bare knuckle. And the only thing holding in place is, like I said, that thing. It looks like a glove, but it has no fingers. It only holds your thumb and your wrist in place.
And as far as strategy goes with bare knuckle versus, you've done a lot of boxing. You do a boxing, you get an 8-ounce glove. Maybe sometimes you get a 10-ounce glove, and you can take shots with those gloves. But a bare knuckle, you can't take as many shots or as big a shots. Is there a different strategy? Are you trying to touch them more and land less power but more volume?
Well, so bare knuckle, you start 3 feet apart. When the fight starts, you're standing on a line. It's called toe the line. You're 3 feet apart. The strategy for me is, it would be good touching, but also a lot of strategy, a lot of body work. A lot of body work works for bare knuckle because you're not wearing any gloves. It's different taking a body shot with no gloves than it is with a glove. So, a lot of things that traditionally work in boxing, I think would work better in bare knuckle boxing just because you'll feel it immediately. But I'm more of a Mexican style fighter. I like to be in your face, and I move a lot. So I love the grind, and thank God I'm blessed that I can take a shot and I can give one just as much as I can take it.
It's interesting sanctioning. I mean, famously, New York City announced, 8 years ago, they were never going to have the UFC. They would never allow it. They're not going to allow it. And Dana White of the UFC announced famously 10 years ago, he's never going to allow women to fight. All these proclamations of you can't do this here, and that's never going to happen. It's on now. Yep. I mean, every fight card, every mixed martial art fight card has a bunch of women's fights, and it's amazing how fast as a society we can go from, oh, that's barbaric, no one's going to watch it. What do you think our society is? To, oh yeah, I'll watch.
Yeah. Never say never.
we have Paige VanZant's crazy kick, but I hope there's the announcer in there telling him to knock it off.
Yes,
it's so good.
Said to Paige VanZant, the leg kicks are hurting her, but don't get caught up in the stop people, the jump. Don't engage in that. Get in, get out, do your damage.
And the junkie wants her to get away from some of these flying and spinning techniques and get more down to more traditional combinations.
Get away from the flying, the spinning techniques. Get back to the more flying dragon scissor kick. Knocked her out.
That was awesome.
So I love it. I love it when there's not a tenth of a second between what the announcer's telling you what not to do and it working.
He has to interrupt himself to correct him.
Yeah. Right. That's awesome. You guys, when you get a second, you got to watch my 3-second knockout when the announcer's talking.
We've seen it, and we have it.
We don't have time. Sorry. Oh, okay, we'll watch it. Yeah, we played it on the show before, but let's watch that anyway. You're towing the line at the 3-foot mark.
Listen to the announcer.
Touch of hands. Round number 1. There's that fast start.
He couldn't even get the words round number 1 out.
Yeah.
So it's like it looks like it's a round ring. It looks like it's 22, 24 feet. 20 feet? How big is that?
I think it's about, it looks like, honestly, I'm not sure, but I think it looks like 24. It's pretty big once you're in there.
Yeah. And, in boxing, there used to be a lot of, I don't even know why they did this. There'd be a lot of negotiating. I want an 18-foot ring. I want to, imagine that. Why boxing? Why are you negotiating? It's like, the Patriots, they like playing on a smaller field.
Now play with a high school ball.
Aaron Rodgers got a big arm, so he wants to play on a 120-yard field. The Patriots want to play on a 65, so they got a catch field at 80 yards. Why are you negotiating? Just have 18-foot rings. Sorry.
Right now, Billy Joe Saunders wanted to fight in a 24-foot ring, and Canelo wanted an 18-foot ring. So I think they met in the middle between 20 and 22. Because Billy Joe Saunders likes to run around, and Canelo's a Mexican-style fighter. He's in your face, so he wanted a smaller ring.
Piano man.
Well, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. LeBron James likes an 11-foot rim because he's got a better vertical than
Steph
some of these
Curry
guys.
would like a
Steph
7-foot
Curry
rim.
likes a shorter rim. They decided to meet at 8.5. What the fuck? I see they have rules. What do we have rules for? They negotiate over the size of the
they could do
ring,
that.
The gloves.
glove size. Oh, he's a puncher. He wants those 8-ounce gloves. Well, the other guy wants the 10. It's
That's amazing.
a weird thing to negotiate. So the fight. Your fight lasted 3 seconds, but I'm guessing bare knuckle fights are shorter fights than your average boxing matches, right?
Yes, sir. They're 5 2-minute rounds.
Do they normally get to the 5th round?
Very few of them get to the 5th round, and if you get to the 5th round and it's a draw, there's a sudden death 6th round.
So
They're handed weapons.
So Thiago, Alves. He's a beastly guy with a lot of experience in the UFC. I mean, he's definitely a legend, but he's been doing the full mixed martial arts thing over the last whatever, which is a lot of hand training, but you've been pretty much exclusive with the hands. And boxing since 6 years of age?
Yes, sir. 6, 7 years old, I started boxing. Yep.
How does this work? Like Pitbull said to you when he was 9, hey man, how did that work?
What's funny is, as a kid, like I said, I always felt like I was a protector of my friends. We were on basketball teams for school and stuff, and we travel everywhere. Then, as a young adult, I went to prison at 23 years old. I came out right when I was 20, after 25 years old. And then Pitbull was already making it. He was already doing good. So I tell people I went from prison to private jets because I came out of prison and I was the head of his security, and I was traveling. I went to Seoul, South Korea. I went to Belgium. I went to Italy. I went to Okinawa, Japan. And it was awesome. I took what I was doing bad. I transferred into some good doing security work for him for a while.
So did he contact you when you got out of prison, or did you look him up?
No, we stayed in contact. I have a letter in my house framed that he wrote me. I'm telling you, he's as close as a friend could get. He's a brother to me. We don't even call each other friends. We call each other family. That's my brother. I'm the godfather of one of his children. Like I said, I have a letter framed in my house that he wrote me while I was in prison. When I got out, and it was the other day was 15 years to the day since I got out. May 6, 2006, I got out, and I remember I called him, and I remember the conversation perfectly. He told me, "Hey man, I'm out of town. I'll get back It was a Friday. He goes, "I'll get back Monday. I'll see you Monday." On Monday, he was in front of my house. He picked me up and took me on a shopping spree and got me all new clothes,
And that's how you know a friend is down, because when he was on the rise, like this meteoric rise, and a lot of douchebags out there would be like, look, we have to go our separate ways. Like I can't be seen with a criminal, whatever. And he hired you and did the right thing, because who would protect him like his best friend?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I say it all the time. I tell him all the time, he's had every right, and I've given him every chance to get rid of me, basically, and he never has. He's been a great friend. He's been on my side, and nowadays, I've gotten the great opportunity of going back to the juvenile detention center where I was arrested as a kid, and I go speak to children. And one of the best things I always tell them is, look at these two paths. You know what I mean? I grew up with Pitbull, which followed his path. Didn't let anybody get in his way. Didn't listen to what anybody told him, and he didn't have a straight line to success, but he had a straighter line than I did. Then you have me, somebody who didn't listen, somebody who didn't follow the straight line, somebody who thought they knew better and just bumped into every wall and crashed into every corner he could have. Went to prison and did everything that you don't want to do. So, and this is something I can speak to from experience, and because this is my best friend, closest guy to me, and then I have my experience. So I saw him go on his trajectory, and then I saw myself kind of finally finding it after I I'm 40 years old now. I finally found it at 35 is when I decided to go professionally fighting, and it's been amazing. So it's been 5 years. It's been a hell of a ride. And it's, just to have this opportunity to be here with you guys is amazing. And I thank you guys for that.
Well, you're quite welcome. And for that, you're getting a plug. The title fight is coming up on June 26, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. It's on the BKFC app, the Bare Knuckle TV, and you can get that at app stores and Google Play and all that. And Uly's going to be fighting for the welterweight championship.
Don't blink.
Don't blink is the name of the podcast, by the way. Aptly named, available on Apple Podcasts and YouTube as well. Uly, thanks for joining us. Best of luck coming up on the 26th, and your story's inspiring, so thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you guys so much, man. I'm huge fans of all of you. I appreciate you, and thank you, Gina. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. We're happy to have you.
Thanks, Uly.
Thank you. You guys have a great night.
That's one of the nice DMs I get.
All right. Klavio. Ever wonder how the e-commerce brands you admire do it? It's not experience. They have the right data and the right tools. They have Klavio. Klavio's data-driven marketing automation platform is sophisticated enough to power legendary campaigns from brands you admire, but simple as well, easy, fast enough for anybody to utilize. Klavio helps brands create personalized multi-channel marketing campaigns using customer data. Klavio integrates with all leading e-commerce platforms. Drag and drop easy. Get started with your first campaign in under an hour, and it's easy to build from there with Klavio's templates. More than 65,000 brands can't get enough, including some of the brands you hear me talk about on this very podcast. It's Klavio. Right, Dawson?
To get started with a free trial of Klavio, visit klavio.com/Adam. That's KLAVIYO.com/Adam.
All right, take a quick break, come back with the news and Gina Grad right after this.
Give me the news with Grad, news with Gina Grad, breaking viral, weird crime, protest, politics. Give me news with Gina Grad, stuff they saw on TMZ, Joe Biden, Kamala, meet news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
Max Zapata, did you find anything else about that 100-foot mandate for the gay parade? Is there any articles about that?
I haven't been seeing anything, but I'll continue looking.
I saw a few news stories on that.
Well,
All right.
Let's talk about the latest Costco Karen. It is somebody that you all have heard of. Somebody that used to be a big star.
I saw this today.
And somebody that that wanted this attention because this person filmed it. It is Ricky Schroder. He's the former child star from Silver Spoons and filmed an aggressive counter.
Didn't he change it to Rick Schroeder at a certain point when
Rick.
he was like an NYPD something?
Yeah, that makes sense.
As an adult, yeah.
TMZ may have been thumbing their nose a little, but they called him Ricky. But yeah, I think you're right. He had an aggressive encounter between himself and the Costco manager, local, which is now making the rounds online. I'm guessing maybe the Van Nuys one. I can't think of where the other Costco is, but I don't know for sure. But in this, you see Rick asking the guy why he isn't being allowed in. Yes?
Jimmy's going to be very upset.
Why?
Well, first
He
off,
loves Costco and Rick Schroder.
he loves Costco, and he's made the cover of the Costco magazine probably multiple times.
That's how you know you've made it.
Oh, yeah.
That's success. So he's asking this dude why he isn't allowed inside without a face covering because there's some new mandates, and then this sort of one-way argument ensues. I have the whole clip. It's like a minute and a half, and it's self-explanatory.
The worst part is Rick thinks he got him.
Yeah, we'll watch it.
Rick films himself too, right? I haven't seen this.
Okay.
What's your name?
My name is Jason.
And what do you do here?
I'm a supervisor, front-end supervisor.
And why aren't you letting me in?
Because in the state of California and the county of Los Angeles, there has been and Costco, there's been no change to our mask policy. Not in the state of California or in the county of Los Angeles.
Didn't you see the news? You didn't see the news. Nationwide Costco that said you don't need to wear a mask.
Actually, that's not accurate.
What is accurate?
So what is accurate is that Costco always goes above and beyond when following the law. And the mandate in California has not changed. There does seem to be the possibility that in June, by mid-June, that's a date that California, I know,
if they allow us, if they grant us that, our kings, the people in power, you're going to listen to these people?
Well, I know
they've destroyed our economy. They're destroying our culture. They're destroying our state.
I see.
And you're just going to listen to their rules.
Well,
yes,
I
draw a paycheck.
We follow the guidelines.
Okay. I'm getting my refund. I'm getting my refund from Costco. I suggest everybody in California get their refund from Costco. Give up your membership to Costco until they remove this.
Okay, well, this hasn't changed in any building in California, in any company that I'm
All right,
aware
we're
of,
calling out.
places
The
I've shopped.
Costco guy looks like legendary coach Abe Gibron.
Thinking the same thing.
So just to be clear, because I did too
what
see
are the rules?
the Costco thing that they were going to make it an honor system. But I looked it up on their website, and this is from Costco's website. It says, U.S. locations with state or local mask requirements, there is no policy change. In those Costco locations where the state or local jurisdiction does have a mask mandate, we will follow the state and continue to require members and guests to wear a face mask or face shield. So poor Jason.
What are we doing in California?
Well, we're still looking at that on the horizon, that June 15th date.
So the CDC mask thing doesn't apply here?
I don't know, because there are retail stores that are already saying, we're going honor system, but I still find it to be very unclear how that affects us here.
I was in a restaurant today where everyone's mask was off. I mean, of course, they were, sitting down.
But you're allowed, once you sit down, you can take it off. I was in a restaurant too, and they did ask us to make sure when we were going to the bathroom, we put our mask back on.
I saw, I went out to a restaurant last night with Sonny, and it was one of those kind where people wait outside, and there's groups, standing on the sidewalk. Almost everyone was wearing a mask outside, still on the sidewalks.
I saw that too.
And then, so what's Newsom's thing? Is his thing different than the CDC?
He's real cash now. Remember the video we saw him with his tousled hair and his polo, no mask?
Yeah.
Saying, we're going to calm down with this. I'd like to stay in office.
Yeah.
So it's unclear what the actual guideline is. Remember, we haven't talked about the color coding system in how long? Like, we're really trying to move past that, but it still feels very unclear to the point where what's her name? Kate McKinnon, and I think it was the cold open of SNL on Saturday night, did a whole Fauci thing. She was Fauci about how confusing this all is and how there's not a clear message.
I don't think Biden and Harris helped their cause by, and everybody in politics, wearing a mask so religiously after being vaccinated. I think it fucking sent a weird, confusing message. I know they wanted everyone to wear a mask, but then after you're vaccinated, you don't need a mask, and then it
would seem like a better incentive for people to get vaccinated.
Yeah,
if the light in the tunnel was don't have to wear a mask.
The lure of the vaccination is you can get back to normal, and normal didn't include a mask.
Would you like to hear the broken clock being right twice a day?
Mm-hmm.
Bill Maher has tested positive for COVID-19 after being fully vaxxed, and he's not alone. He said he feels fine, by the way. The news comes after New York Yankees shortstop Gleyber Torres became the latest member of that baseball organization to test positive, despite also being vaxxed. But if there's any confusion as to how this would happen, I went to the CDC website and I looked up Pfizer specifically, but I think they're all sort of along the same line. Here's what it says. Based on what we know about vaccines for other diseases and early data from clinical trials, experts believe that getting a COVID-19 vaccine also helps keep you from getting seriously ill, even if you do get COVID-19. So I think that, what we know is the symptoms will be, you could be almost asymptomatic if you get it. And if you do, and, with Johnson & Johnson and Moderna, it will probably keep you out of the hospital. It will definitely keep you from dying. But no one's saying you can't get it.
Well, here's what I would say. Most people who get vaccinated are no longer being tested unless they have a work situation, like they play for the Yankees or they're on HBO.
Or they're going to the Ace Hotel.
In which case, everybody needs to be tested who's coming into this, whatever. So this leads me to believe that a much larger group of people would test positive if they continue to test after the vaccination.
Right.
But I don't know what that means.
Well, we talked the other day about the incentives that states are trying to sort of incentivize, and I have a clearer list, and some of them are pretty funny. So the CDC and prevention used these new guidelines, and vaccinated people can go without face masks in most places in nearly every situation. And some states have more vaccinated residents than others, and they're not quite ready to lift those mask mandates because the vaccination rates in those states are really low. So I'm going to give you a rundown of what some of the cities and some of the states are doing. Connecticut is launching the CT Drinks on Us campaign, where participating restaurants will begin offering free alcohol to residents that bring in their vaccination cards.
Connecticut live show.
Chicago is launching a Vax Pass, which will allow vaccinated people to get exclusive deals at summer concerts, and it could also extend to barbershops and salons. Kentucky is partnering with Kroger and Walmart to give every vaccinated adult a free cash ball 225 ticket. That's a lotto ticket, basically. Top prize, $225,000. All residents need to do is go to one of those stores in Kentucky, get their vaccine, and they'll get a lottery ticket.
I think de Blasio was doing like a Shake Shack
I
thing.
have something on New York, although I don't have Shake Shack, which would be delicious.
Could have been another fast food
French
place
fries or something.
Yeah, but I thought it was like...
It's Shake Shack's very New York.
I think it was like a specific thing. There's
that wouldn't surprise me.
It's a mixed message to fast food thing with the vaxing thing, because the reason we're in a lot of this is because a lot of
Free
people
corn
doing a
dogs.
little too much in the fast food.
Maine residents who get vaxxed are eligible for a Your Shot to Get Outdoors pass. You get a free fishing license, a free hunting license, a wildlife pass.
See, that's smart. They should take advantage of what they have, which is they're the government. You know what I mean? They can, like, if you got 6 months of free parking meters.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
How fast would you sign up for the vaccine?
Hey, what are the Sea Dogs in Maine? You get a Sea Dogs admission pass. Is that like a minor leagues or
minor hockey or something?
And you get an Oxford Plains Speedway pass. New Jersey is launched a shot in a beer. So all the residents over 21 can go get a free beer. And New York, I have, they are giving away Yankees and Mets tickets. And like we've talked about before, you can sit in a vaccinated section where you can, just live your life. And finally, Ohio Governor Mark DeWine announced he will offer 5 $1 million prizes to vaccinated adults, along with 5 full ride scholarships to state schools. So that's their own kind of lotto.
Oh, that's their lottery. Some brave soul has got to go, and maybe Ricky Schroder. Somebody's got to go get a MAGA hat and a vaccine and go sit in the middle of that Yankee Stadium vaxxed section and just see how that goes and film yourself.
Yeah. And there was a little bit of he got back on the in the spotlight, if you remember. I think, and I don't want to be wrong, but I think he donated money to help get Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, he bailed him out or something.
Oh, Ricky did?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And he used to come on the morning show because I think he and Mark Thompson were buddies. Very nice guy. I wasn't expecting him to kind of have this resurgence online in the way he has. Interesting.
You know what I didn't like about the video most of all? The same thing. I like Michael Moore as a filmmaker. I think he's talented. But the one thing I hated about his documentaries was when he would take a camera up to some poor schlub who works somewhere and what do you think about this? And it's like, what the fuck do you expect him to say? The guy's drawing a picture.
You're totally right.
Yeah. It's like,
this guy couldn't have been nicer. Yeah.
Yes, because I agree with everything Ricky Schroeder's saying, but what the fuck is this guy going to do about it?
Yeah.
He can do nothing.
Right.
He makes $14 an hour. He stands by the door.
And he's paid to also keep it cool. Like the Trader Joe's guy, sir, my name is Jason.
Yeah, I know. It's like you're going for low-level employees who have a policy, and even, no matter how retarded the policy is, it's not their policy.
Yeah, I'd like to speak to Mr. Costco.
Right.
That's not Jason at the door. But somebody did make a funny point on Twitter because it's all going to be on the honor system. And someone said, wait a second, you have to have your receipt checked when you leave there. They won't let you out, but they won't you can't show them a vax card to get in.
Yeah,
The honor system. We are well beyond the honor system
Yeah,
in this
I agree.
in this country.
I agree.
I've looked no further than dogs on an airplane.
It's this honor system.
Yeah, and that's a thing with a note and a doctor. It's
right.
not that. It's all that much different.
But yeah, you think at Home Depot, Costco, you're always ready to show something at the door. Why can't you just show your card? Why not?
The comedy of the Home Depot is for a guy that is probably spent $750,000 at a Home Depot in my adult life. And I've gone on Home Depot runs where I'm buying washers and grommets and lag bolts and brackets and bros and breeze. It's a Bill Cosby. Hookaboo. You go in, you walk out of that place. I got a scroll like a town crier would use back in the day, like a scroll like 4 feet long with 7,000 items on it. The guy who stands by that door looks like one of the guys in the cabinet from Idiocracy. Like that's
wearing a medal,
like the guy with the 10-gallon head. You know what I mean? He just stands there. He looks at you. He looks at a scroll with 126 items on it. He looks at your shopping cart with 19 bags in it. And he goes, "Oh, no." He takes you. Everyone should hope your kid doesn't do this. They don't even trust him with a ballpoint pen. He gets a highlighter.
Yes, a yellow highlighter.
He gets a highlighter, and he makes his mark like Zorro, but he just makes an X on it with a highlighter. You could never simulate that. Where would you find a highlighter, and who could ever pull off that X?
The X is what you do when you can't sign your name.
He just stares at you for a while, and he goes, all right. And it's an X with a highlighter. Again, it's like, I remember it's like when I was a kid, my school picture, they gave me a crayon. Like, they wouldn't even trust me with a pencil. Like, well, he could stab himself in the eye or hurt another child. You know what I mean?
We've seen his performance.
What's Carolla need a pencil for anyway, really, if you think about it?
That's true.
Big picture. Think he's going to be using that? Think he's a lot more mileage out of that crayon. Tell you that. It was a harbinger of my scholastic future. But the guy just looks at it and goes, okay, and he takes a fucking highlighter and makes an X, and then you walk out.
Yeah, then you're free to go.
That's the science of it.
Well, there might only be one, maybe two people in this room that care about this, but there is new UFO footage. I, for one, am fascinated. I am sad, like you said, that we're going to get all this information and nobody cares.
I'm prepared to be underwhelmed.
I know, but, well, you will be. Video taken aboard a U.S. Navy ship off the coast of San Diego shows this mysterious spherical object flying in the air before disappearing into the ocean. And yes, it's grainy, before you ask.
Is it a green flash?
I wish. The black and white clip taken aboard the USS Omaha in July of 2019 shows the small round object parallel to the ocean, hovering for a minute, and then drops into the water out of sight. We'll show you in a second. Lou Elizondo, he's a former Pentagon intelligence officer who used to have access to the agency's UFO data, previously told the Post the UFO has trans-medium capabilities, meaning they can freely travel in space, water, air, whatever. The New York Post reports that a submarine later went searching for the craft. Nothing was found. So this video I'm going to show you was taken... around the time of this video, 3 U.S. warships based in San Diego had numerous encounters with aerial intruders that they said were harassing them. At one point, one of the objects matches the speed and the bearing of one of the destroyers for 90 minutes. And this is, I'm going to show you the guys because you kind of hear them talking about it. And this is the UFO they see.
Got 2 winds, 3 knots.
Keep going, bro.
That's a drone.
We're making sense. We can probably bring that 35 relative windy.
It's just kind of there in the distance.
We got a lot of white water.
Grainy.
6-foot swells.
Whoa, it's getting close.
Yeah, we have 31 knots sustained.
I'm no rear admiral, but when do you ring the bell for battle stations?
Splashed. Mark bearing and range.
So, and I get it. We like things that are in color and high def, but like...
In the ocean.
Michael Bay could have sweetened that up.
Max Pata, find any footage of the 100-foot rule?
No, I haven't.
You've been looking?
Yeah, of course. I'm typing everything. And I typed, even now it's like maybe it's on 100 feet. So I typed in just like NYPD gay feet. And that took me to a much different place on the internet.
I think that was a Penguin movie.
It's not on the. I saw it on the news today.
I believe you. It's just it's not anywhere I can find it on text. But I'm still looking.
And like you said,
on text. Sorry.
Like when I'm typing it into Google, like what keywords I can.
Oh, are you doing videos though?
I'm doing both.
Oh, okay. Huh. Phil wants to come in. Phil's scratching at the door.
Breaking news. Phil's trying to break in.
Yeah, saw a bunch of news stories talking about 100 feet today.
It makes sense, like you said, like it makes sense that they wouldn't be invited to march. It's very odd that they would be like, okay, I guess we're standing down and we won't protect you, even though it does say they got private security.
Yeah.
You know what? I wonder if it's like, when they do movie productions, they hire cops who are off duty, or like, I wonder if it's a situation where they hire the cops in the past and now they're like, fuck it, we're hiring private security.
Yeah. The guys who do private are off duty. I don't know. Who knows what the fucking rules are.
Well, we have another gender reveal gone wrong, but this time it's different. It's nobody got hurt physically, emotionally a little bit. But a viral TikTok video from the end of April has captured this moment where you can see this guy's heart break as his dad learns that his unborn baby is going to be a girl. And he does not seem happy about it. So I'll show you in a second. While the rest of the crowd in the video cheers as this pregnant woman pops a balloon covered in question marks. Then it breaks out with little pink balloons. The father appears to say "son of a bitch" while throwing down the balloon strings.
Does he already have daughters? Do we know?
I don't know. Here's the clip.
That might be worth it.
Father looks like Rex Ryan. We're gonna keep going with this joke. Sorry, go ahead. Like a big question mark balloon pops up.
So angry.
She's holding a little girl, which would indicate.
You're excusing that?
No.
Nah,
I'm explaining. Gina, there's an explanation and an excuse.
Okay.
If you could, this guy could end up like Kobe Bryant over here with all the girls. You want
just like Kobe.
Well, the same build. I think. Well, I got a boy and a girl, so I can't complain.
You broke even.
I think if I had a couple of girls, I'd be rooting for a boy. And
would you yell "son of a bitch" at the party?
By the same token, if I had 3 boys, I'd be rooting for a 4th. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you know how we've talked about this in the past? How we always talk about like Orkin or one of those businesses will always say like, which city has the most rats? And Chicago is always right at the top.
Can I say this about exterminators?
Please do.
Commercials for like bug spray and exterminators now, they're getting real good with the graphics. So you can show the roach and then the POV from the roach, like looking up at you, and then the roach crawling by your kid and stuff. It's getting a little weird and graphic for me. I liked it when they were just kind of black dots, and then you spray, and now there's no more black dots.
More UFO.
Right, yeah.
This is bothering you.
It's getting pretty good now.
Yeah, too good.
Yeah, I saw like a roach spray commercial today, and it was like the roach.
Yeah, I
it's
like
they
the
mounted a
cartoon.
camera on the roach. Yeah,
like the mucus guys. Like
I like
we're
it when
moving in.
like the old raid commercials. The roaches were like hobos, and they travel like we're in town. Where's my rucksack?
Right.
You know what I mean? They're
Bindle stick.
smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Those kinds
Riding
of
the rails.
roaches.
Yeah, I like that too.
Right.
So they're getting back to basics to handle this rat problem. A Chicago animal shelter has been deploying more than 1,000 feral cats onto the street to fight this rat problem because Chicago is always in the top 50 of the rattiest cities. This is the 6th time. They're in 6th place from last year. Treehouse Humane Society's Sarah Liss told WGN last weekend, quote, "We've had a lot of our clients tell us that before they had cats, they would step outside their house and rats would literally run across their feet." She says the cats' pheromones are enough to keep a lot of the rats away. The feral cats, which have been rescued, neutered, vaccinated, are placed 2 or 3 at a time into residential or commercial settings under the care of a registered caretaker.
Isn't feral cats one of your football players?
Yeah, KATZ,
a nice
run
Jewish
stopper.
boy.
Yeah.
And they work in colonies to, catch the rats, keep them away, do the dirty work.
But then the feral cat problem gets out of control. Now we got to get mongooses in there.
I didn't
or
think about
mongeese.
that.
Yeah, but
then we got to bring cobras in.
It's good. I heard about that, and it's an interesting thing, which is the smell, if you live in a super shitty apartment and there's got a rat problem, just the smell of the cat in there is
or the
enough
urine,
to keep the mice away or keep the rats away.
As someone, you'd think I was single, but as someone who follows as many kitten rescue accounts as I do, and I told Andy I need a burner account because of some of the shit I post on this, like, too cute. But on a lot of these sites, if they can't domesticate the cat, then it's not a humane thing to do to try and lock it in a house and hope for the best. You have to make it a barn cat. You have to make it they're cats that they're never going to be domesticated. So that's perfect. Give them a job.
It's funny, cats. We have a cat, Shelby, at the other shop. And
Shelby's the cat's name?
Yes.
Shelby.
So
I didn't name the cat, but it's cute.
It's good.
Lays there on the sofa. And the default setting of the cat is when I come up to pet the cat, you get to swat with the claws. Everything's, we going at it?
Yeah, that's not a domesticated
But
cat.
I like cats. I grew up with cats. I love cats. But I got to tell you, Phil's a little easier that way. I mean, he just sort of lays there.
He's like a futon with legs.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. Laid back. All right, let me tell you about AirMed Care Network. Health insurance doesn't always cover the full cost of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with a substantial copay and deductibles. Plan ahead. In an emergency, AirMed Care networks of highly trained crews provide air medical transport to the nearest and most appropriate trauma center. With an AirMed Care Network membership, you pay no out-of-pocket expenses for the flight. An AMCN membership covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. And you can secure your financial peace of mind. As a listener, you'll get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. So do the math, $85 a year. Up to $50 worth of e-gift card for a new membership, and it covers the entire family. Visit airmedcarenetwork.com/Adam. Use offer code Adam. All right, let's do one more, Gina Graff.
All right. Well, if we happen to catch some of those mice and rats, we might be able to put them to work too, because the New York Post reports that a Japanese scientists have developed a procedure that allows lab animals like rats to breathe out of their rectums. In a new study published last week, scientists using an enema of oxygen-carrying liquid proved that oxygen-deprived animals and maybe people can be saved via their butts. While ventilators are helpful, they're not always available and they can break. The doctor overseeing the study says we clearly need different strategies to help out patients with severe lung failure. Through his trials...
Slippery slope guy here.
What's the problem?
What's the possible harm?
Well, starts off with your 9-year-old niece choking on a piece of gristle at the local Sizzler. And you got to perform a Heimlich, but the Heimlich's not good enough because the gristle ain't coming out, so you got to go mouth to mouth. But what happens when that kid starts turning blue and getting cold and flatlining on the floor and the mouth to mouth isn't enough to get the gristle out? Then you got to go mouth to anus. And the next thing you know, you're giving a 9-year-old a rim job, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
I've really changed my opinion on this quite quickly.
Thank you.
I have never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I think on all
Slippery slope, guys.
Terrible idea.
Giving us a lot of consideration over the years.
I didn't know this was going to become analingus at the Shoney's.
Well, how else?
Yeah, what other way could
Where are we going here, Gina?
Nope, you're absolutely right. Through his trials, the doctor first did what the New York Post is calling it a reverse fart, pumping oxygen up the rectum of anesthetized, oxygen-deprived mice.
Go on.
So,
can't figure out if I'd want to be part of that. Whenever I hear the studies, I'm always thinking, like some of them are fun. Like, well, how does gambling affect teenagers?
Yeah.
I'm like, I want in on that. That sounds like a good time.
That's subject.
You still do math after drinking heavily.
Anything involving booze or coffee, I'd be in.
Right.
I can't figure out if this would be a fun one to be in on.
And what is liquid oxygen?
Oh, I don't know. It's liquid oxygen. I mean, they use it all the time for I think they
think
use
of it as liquid oxygen.
I think a lot of I think space exploration and rockets and things like that. Well, if you think about a rocket, I think uses liquid oxygen. A rocket needs to burn. You need oxygen,
right?
And I don't think they're using compressed oxygen in those like rockets and stuff. I think they would use liquid oxygen. The liquid, maybe they don't use it anymore. Now they have solid fuel. But would they use liquid oxygen in rocketry back in the day? All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad. I'll let Max Pata ponder that.
I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. Filthy kike, cum-guzzling whore.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Is Phil passed out over there still?
Oh, very much so, yeah.
He's at least upright.
He's figured out a way to hit the road with me because he's, like I said, he's figured out a way to open the garbage bin, the sliding bin in the kitchen. He's figured out a way to open it up and tear through the garbage.
Oh, good for him.
So I tend not to want to take him, and then
you got to like zip tie it or something.
I should zip tie him to a radiator.
That's what I meant.
And Sonny, I like this, by the way. Sonny's got a 14, 15-year-old friend. He's getting into brisket.
Nice.
He's smoking his own.
Sonny is?
His friend.
Oh, his friend.
His friend is into smoking brisket.
That's badass.
I know, and I told him you should get into that
Bring
too.
him around sometime. New intern.
Yeah.
Ryan, you're out.
Cryogenic liquid oxidizer propels spacecraft rocket. So liquid oxygen is most common cryogenic liquid oxidizer propellant for spacecraft rocket applications, usually a combination of liquid hydrogen. So am I right on my liquid?
So liquid oxygen was used in the first liquid-fueled rocket and usually used with liquid hydrogen, kerosene, or methane as well.
And rectally.
D- student.
Yeah.
No, he said methane.
That's right.
All right, we brought it home.
Yep.
Last but not least, there is Geico. Do you own? Do you rent your home? Well, you do one or the other. Good news. Geico can make it easy to bundle. Get your automotive policy and bundle that bad boy up with your homeowners or your renters insurance. A good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your house. Go to geico.com, get a quote, see just how much you could be saving when you get your bundle on at geico.com. That is geico.com. All right, Jam in the Van this Saturday, finally. We're doing a live pod out there. Dawson's doing stand-up. Awesome Dawson. Max Zapata is playing. Loxy's playing. And so it's going to be a big night. So come on out and say hi. And you can go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows everywhere. And until next time, Adam Carolla for Uly the Monster Diaz, Gina Grad, and Bob Ryan, say it. Mahalo.
We all hate you pieces of shit.